Hello YouTube, my name is Walker, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to solve this thing. Now, first things first, this is not a jokes and tricks video. There is no secret method to use to solve it somehow. In this tutorial there is actually a method, and for the sake of beginning I will be teaching the beginner's method first. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to learn is the notation. Basically, what this means is that there are 6 faces on the cube, each with a letter, such as U for up, F for front, L for left, B for back, R for right, and D for down. You're not normally going to use back and down moves much, but F, R, U, and L moves will be used very often. Basically, when you look at an algorithm, there is either a letter or a letter with an apostrophe. The letter just means for you to move that face clockwise, such as U would be that, and F would be that. But for when there's an apostrophe, that means you move it counterclockwise, like that, because it goes opposite of the way a clock moves, if you don't know what that means. So, a very simple algorithm, or as I like to call a trigger, is RU R', which basically takes out this corner edge pair and puts it here. So what that looks like is R clockwise, then U clockwise, and then R counterclockwise, represented again by an apostrophe. And what that does is it just takes this and puts it here. So undoing that, R U prime R prime. In this way, all other algorithms can be learned. L prime, F prime, U prime. But B is confusing because it's the opposite. See, from this perspective, you see it moving counterclockwise, but really, if you turn it around, that same move I just did is clockwise. And so, F clockwise is this, but B clockwise is that. This will catch you a lot when you're first learning. B prime counterclockwise is this. And so now that you can do that, oh yeah, right, D prime as here. Now I'm just going to scramble it. Okay, now that you've got the cube scrambled, you'll see that I'm going to start with yellow on top. The first thing you want to do is do the daisy, which means you put the white edges around the yellow center. And the way you would put this edge around the yellow center is by moving this one out of the way to here, and then moving this one up to there. And so now you've got 2 of them. And this one can go up just like that. And then this one's kind of tricky, but it's easy if you know how to do it right. You can just use intuition, but if you don't know how to figure it out, I can just show you. You can turn this so this goes here, and then turn it up so that's there, and then just move this one back, and then you've got the daisy. That's what this is called. Now, when I solve, I don't do the daisy, but because I use the advanced method, but I'm teaching the beginner's method because it's easy to learn. So, once you've got the daisy, you want to pair up the edges, the white edges with their centers. Now this isn't paired, but as you can see, this orange is paired with the orange center. So you can just do an F2 to turn that down, and you see we're making the white cross. What that means is the white has to be with the white, and whatever other color this is has to be with that color. Like this is orange. So if you have this, that will not work. So you got to do it with the right color. And then on the other side, this red edge is also paired already. So you can just turn that down, and again, that makes this all the way around. And then these 2 edges are opposite of where they should be. So I can just do that, and that will put this one in place to turn there, and this one also in place to turn there. Now that is the white cross done. You might want to just practice that before you move on. Just keep doing the cross and then scrambling it and then doing it again until you have a pretty good idea of how to get it right every time. Again, remember, the white has to be with the white blue edge has to be paired with the blue center. It can't be like that. And now for this next step, the white corners. We're going to be solving this cube layer by layer. So yeah, the white cross and then the white corners, and that'll be the first layer done. Basically what you do is you look for corners in the bottom layer, such as this one. This is a white, red, green corner, and it will go right here, as you can see if you do that. Now there are two ways to put in the corner. The traditional way that I use is, you see, when the white is facing front, facing towards you on the left, is you move it over and then bring the left side down, move it over, back over, and then back up. So that's that corner done. And now this one, this will be the same. You move the right face down, R prime, move it over, D prime, R, and then you just have it in the bottom layer. But you can't put it back in here because that's not the right corner. It doesn't go there. Instead, it goes here because it's orange and green, as you see. Now you can do this, D prime, R prime, D, R, but in case if you want to, there is another way. But first, I'm going to show you these special cases. This is special because the white is facing down and not one of the sides. What you can do to fix this is just move it down so it is facing one of the side, and then just move it out of the way and move that back up, and there you go. You have it facing in a way that you can insert it. And then you could insert it like that, but I'm going to show you the other way. The other way is called the sledgehammer. I don't know why I didn't name it, but basically what you do is you move it up so that pairs these two together, move it out of the way, and then move this back down, and then there, the front face. And so you've got that corner in place. And again, with this corner, I'm going to move it over, down, which is R prime, move it back, which is D2, and then move the R face back up. And now you can insert it either like this or like this. And that is the first layer done. Now I'm going to make a note here that I forgot to say earlier. There is such a thing as a double turn. Every turn is either 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. But sometimes in an algorithm you'll find, for example, a letter with a 2 next to it, like U2, which is just turning it 180 degrees. Like that. I finger trick it with my first and middle fingers, but for beginners you can just do double first finger flick. And now here we are with the middle layer. The centers don't move relative to each other, and so those are already solved to begin with. So we just have these edges to do. Now what you want to do when you start out is find an edge that doesn't have any yellow on it. For example, this piece, because it's orange and green. What you want to do is move it over like that, or just move the bottom and turn it, and you bring it to the side, the color that's facing you. You line it up with that center, as you see, orange and orange. This piece is going to go here, as you can see. And so a way to do that without disrupting anything in the top layer is as follows. It's an algorithm. D prime, R prime, D, R, D, F, D prime, and F prime. Now note, you can also do it the other way, like this, the sledgehammer. F prime, R, F, R prime. It's really the same. Whenever you're putting in the corner, the edge goes in the same way because they're attached. This is what's called a corner edge pair. I'll talk more about this in any advanced tutorial that I may or may not make. And now next, we have this orange and blue edge. Again, you line it up with the center that this color is, not this color. That won't work. This color lined up with the center, but this one is not going there. This one is going here, as you can see. The way to do this is just mirror that algorithm. You just do it on the other side. So you saw me do that first one. If not, you can rewind it. But what you do is D, L prime, D prime, L. I got that backwards. L first and then L prime. Sorry. Then I'm going to insert this with the sledge, but you don't have to. F, L prime, F prime, L. Or you can just turn it that way and do it with the R moves. But once you've got that, you'll have part of the middle layer done. And what you want to do is just keep putting the pieces in where they go. But this case is a special case. There are no pieces with no yellow in it to take out of the bottom layer, and so what you want to do is just switch them out with this piece, like that. And so D prime, R prime, D, R, and then I'm going to show you the other way to insert it. D, L prime, D prime, L prime. No, I keep saying L prime. I mean to say L. L, L prime. So that's that. Now you've got this edge in the bottom layer. And so what you want to do again, D, L, D prime, L prime, and either D prime, R prime, D, R, or R, F prime, R prime, F. And then this final edge, I can just do that. You know the drill. And there. That is the first two layers done, also known as F2L. Now finally, here we are at the tricky part. This is going to be the hardest part for you to learn, and it was very confusing for me when I first started. You have to learn algorithms for this step, the last layer. Now I use over 30 algorithms, maybe over 40, I don't know, but I'm just going to teach you 3, because 3 is really all you need. Wait, no, actually 4. Sorry. First thing you want to do is, like when you started with the white, get the yellow cross. The algorithm for that is as follows. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Now that gives you this. It doesn't matter what the corners are for now. Just worry about the yellow edges. Once you have that, you turn it so, this is called a hook. You turn it so the hook is facing that way, like this. And then there is another algorithm you can do, which is very similar to this one. That brings it up to 5. Sorry, but it really only counts as 4 because it's basically the same, with one difference. F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. Now if you get skilled, you can do this very easily and quickly. Now the next thing you do, once you've got the yellow cross, is you put them in the right spot. So I see this red edge here, and this red face, so I'm going to turn it here. This next algorithm will teach you how to switch these two edges, like that, but this edge is already where it needs to be, so we can just leave that alone. This edge needs to go here, and so we can switch it by doing this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, U prime. If you need to see that again, you can just rewind it, because with YouTube you can watch me do something as many times as you want, if it's confusing. But yes, it just switches these two edges again. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, U prime. Now you may have noticed that on the U2 I moved it counterclockwise when I could have moved it clockwise. I'm just going to tell you this now. It makes no difference what direction you move the U2 in, because if you do it from this face, the blue will always end up at the green, whether you do it this way or this way. Now the next step you want to do is the corners. If you don't have any that are in the right spot, you can just do this algorithm with any of them. I believe it cycles these three corners. And let's see. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And as you can see, this corner is now in the right spot. And so you can just hold it here and do this algorithm again. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And there you go. All of the corners are in the right spot. Now this last algorithm also counts as 2 because you can do it forwards or backwards depending on what the orientation of this corner is. It reorients this corner, so it's like that. But I'm just going to turn that back now. Something you should know: never twist the corners if you scramble it for somebody who knows how to solve it, because there is no way to solve it in that state, and the only thing they can do to fix it is just to turn it back. And so the algorithm for this corner facing you is as follows: D prime, R prime, D, R, D prime, R prime, D, R. And as you'll notice, that does mess up some other stuff on the cube, but it's okay, because if you do it enough times, it will fix itself. Now this corner is solved, and so you want to move this one back to where this one was. So now you can orient this one. You could do that algorithm backwards, as I will do, or you could just do the first one again. You do this one for this corner. I did the algorithm 2 times, but you have to do it at a multiple of 6. That may be confusing, but what it means is that if you do it 2 times on this corner, you can either do it 4 times here and no times here, or 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. As long as it adds up to 6, you'll be fine. But this one, I'm just going to do it backwards. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And as you'll see, that fixes everything else. And now for this corner. Again, I'm going to do the first one. D prime, R prime, D, R. And again, D prime, R prime, D, R. And then for this one, I would just do it backwards, but if you want to, you can just use one of them. D prime, R prime, D, R. D prime, R prime, D, R. And as you'll see, that brings you back to this case. D prime, R prime, D, R. D prime, R prime, D, R. And as you can see, that also works, but it's better to do one of them and then the other one backwards. But as you can see, the entire cube is now solved, and if you need to adjust the up face, which is called AUF, you can do that. Just U prime in this case. And there you have it. That is the entire cube solved. More information I may have forgotten will be in the description below. If I can get 5 likes, I'll do an intermediate tutorial, the method that I use. And just because, why not? This cube is the GAN 356X, made by GAN. This is the most expensive cube they sell, but I must say you get what you pay for. This is a really good cube because it's customizable, but note that the more you pay, the more you're going to have to take care of it. Like, for example, taking apart, cleaning it, and lubing it. That makes it run smoothly. And you can find it on thecubicle.us, Speed Cube Shop, or just Amazon. And yeah, that's my tutorial. Alright, now look at this time. It says 18.257. I can solve this cube in under 20 seconds. My personal best is about 14 seconds, and I'm just adding this in to show you that nothing is impossible. If you practice and are motivated, you can solve the Rubik's Cube.